G'day everyone, Chef Mooney coming to you from Mooney's Kitchen. Now today's little recipe is a request from one of my subscribers. Chef Master 2345. They've asked me for a strawberry cake or a coconut cake, but I'm going to combine the two and I hope you won't mind this. I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. It's a delicious cake, it goes well with the coffee, so let's get started. Okay, the first part of the recipe is getting the strawberries prepared. I've got about 100 grams of strawberries here and I'm just going to cut them roughly. To this I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of castor sugar and I'm going to put in just a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar. Not even a half a teaspoon. And that's going to form its own little thing. You just let that go. You can use frozen strawberries for this, but I've got fresh strawberries here. They were quite reasonably priced in the supermarket, so I decided to go with that. Set that aside now, and we'll get on to our cake mixture. To a mixing bowl, I'm adding 125 grams of low-fat margarine. You can use butter, but it works just as well with margarine. And 165 grams of brown sugar. We'll toss that in. And we just want to soften it up before we transfer over to a whisk, and we're going to lightly beat this, get some nice air in there. Just add the whisk and then beat this for another minute or so. I'm going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. There's the first one in. Add the second egg. Give it all a good mix. Now, to my mix, I've added 140 grams of Greek yogurt, and I'm just mixing this in now, just folding it in. This is our strawberries. Look at the liquid that it's caused. That's like a beautiful syrup. And we're going to incorporate that into our mixture now. In with our strawberries. I'm going to add just a little drizzle of vanilla extract, probably about a half a teaspoon. I'm also going to add some strawberry essence, and again about a half a teaspoon. And I'm also going to add some coconut essence, again about a half a teaspoon. Strawberry essence, coconut essence. Give this a gentle mix around. Yogurt, flour is the next ingredient we're going to add to bind all this together. I'm going to use 200 grams of wholemeal self-raising flour. Now, if you don't have wholemeal self-raising flour, you can just use regular self-raising flour, but I think the wholemeal gives it that really nice sort of, I don't know, it's just a slight different texture to the cake, and it really does make a difference. But doesn't matter, if you don't have it, don't worry. So 200 grams of wholemeal self-raising flour. Now, if you had normal self-raising flour, you would sieve it. You can't really sieve the wholemeal flour because it's got sort of grains of that wheat through there, which you can't really do. So we won't worry about sieving this one, but if you're using regular self-raising flour, you can sieve. And give this a gentle mix around. Just want to fluff it through. At this stage, you do not want to overbeat this. You want to keep it really nice and light. Just folding everything nicely. Just keeping it nice and light. Alright, to the mix I'm going to add 20 grams of coconut. Now that's just your normal coconut that you buy in your supermarket, and you can just fold this in gently as well. In with our mixture. It smells delicious. Absolutely delicious. Okay, I'm going to preheat the oven to 140 degrees C, and we're going to place the cake in there for about 45 minutes. Now once your cake comes out of the oven, just insert a skewer into the center of the cake, leave it in there for a few seconds, pull it out, and if it comes out nice and clean, then you're all done. Now it's a good idea to let this cake cool completely before you start taking this ring off, and then we're going to slide it onto a cooling wire and let it cool down completely before we ice it. Now it's time to remove this cake ring. Just ease it up nice and gently, and then return your cake to a cooling wire to cool down completely. Now for the top of the cake, I've just toasted a little bit of coconut in a dry pan on a medium-high heat, and before it gets too hot, I'm just going to sprinkle it onto the plate. You just want it nice golden brown. Just fan it out there, let it cool down, and that's going to be our toasted coconut for the top of the cake. Okay, we're going to make the icing that goes on top of the cake, and I'm going to add 30 grams of butter, 80 grams of softened cream cheese. Now the butter and the cream cheese are both softened. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get this on to mix around, get it nice and soft. Okay, I've got 240 grams of icing sugar, and I'm just going to mix half in now. Just till it incorporates, and then we can add the rest. Add the rest in. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of strawberry essence, and to give it that little bit of a pink colour, just a few drops of pink food colouring. And I'm also going to add a little bit of vanilla essence or vanilla extract, about a quarter of a teaspoon. Alright, let's get this on to mix. And as it turns from a beautiful pale colour, we'll go into a soft pinkish colour. And give it a good mix. Okay, so the icing mixture is now ready. I've decided to make a strawberry icing for this one because I think it'll go really nicely with this cake. And just going to put a little bit. You'll have tons of icing left over, so you can always do some other little cakes if you like. Now I'm going to sprinkle some of that coconut that we cooked, or toasted coconut, just around the edges there. Don't have to cover the whole cake if you don't want to. It's up to you. Look at that, those beautiful fresh strawberries coming through, and it's just, there's a shine on this cake. You can't really see it much, but it's really nice and beautiful and moist. Alright, so let's get some strawberries on the top there, and I'm just going to put some strawberries around the center there. A couple more for the middle. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the normal coconut that hasn't been toasted just around the edges to give it that little bit of contrast, so it's nice two-tone colours. Look at that. Okay, let's cut into this cake and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Move the strawberries across a little bit. Look at that. Beautiful. So let's give this a try. Coconut. It's wholemeal. A little bit healthy. Just a bit of cream on there. I'm just going to try this. It's crumbly. Beautiful flavours. Superb flavours. Hope you give this recipe a try. Well, thanks again for watching Mooney's Kitchen, and I hope you give that recipe a try. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. You can hit the subscribe button just up there, and keep in touch with me on Facebook and Twitter. You have yourselves a great week, guys. Take care.